Hello and welcome. I'm Dana Bristol Smith with Leap to Success, and you are here for self-care in stressful times. And I'm so happy that you've joined us today. This is September now, and I don't know exactly how that happened, but here we are in September. And our theme for this month is navigating transitions. We're all feeling like we are standing on shaky ground. We don't know what's coming next. In the midst of this pandemic, we are just here in San Diego County this week, a lot more businesses have been able to open. And it's been a journey for business owners and all of us, not knowing really what we can do, not knowing if tomorrow the things that we've planned we can actually do. So the topic today for us is creating stability. And I'd like to go ahead and introduce my co-host, Kelly Grimes. Here's Kelly.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy that you're here and really grateful to continue to be able to share really practical tools with you that hopefully you can put into place right away. And at least for today, feel more stability.
Thank you, Kelly. And now I'd like to go ahead and introduce Alyssa, and she's going to tell you how you can participate on this Zoom webinar.
Hi, everyone. I'm super excited that you were able to join us for Self-Care in Stressful Times, episode 24. If you would like to see any of the previous episodes we've done, we do have them all available for rewatch on our YouTube channel as well as our website. And if you'd like to register for upcoming webinars, we now have a spot on our website for that as well. For the month of September, we have everything listed out, all of the categories we're going to talk about. So if you're interested in that, I will be putting those links in the chat for you.
Great. Thank you, Alyssa. And now, let me tell you about Leap to Success for a moment. Leap to Success is a women's empowerment organization, and we're based in Carlsbad, California. Our mission is to educate and empower women who are overcoming domestic violence, homelessness, and other major life challenges. And we started these webinars as a way to reach out to our community. We know that many of you who are watching are doing this during your lunch break, where you are busy helping people who are experiencing stress and experiencing anxiety. So we've provided these webinars for you. And this, as Alyssa said, is episode 24. So we're almost 6 months into this, and we started these about the week after the pandemic really became full-blown. And we're just so glad that you're with us today and that we could give you something useful, because we know that you are carrying a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety for yourself, your family, and the people that you serve. Just in the paper yesterday, a study by UCSD showed that people are experiencing anxiety and reaching out for help through helplines at an increase of 50%. And that started in March, and we're all feeling it. So again, really glad that we can provide this to you. What I'd like to ask you to do right now, and I'm going to have Alyssa put a poll up for us, is to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 the amount of stress and anxiety that you are feeling right now. We want to know, because we want to be able to help. And in just a moment, I'm going to introduce you to a mindfulness practice that will help to start to lessen and alleviate that. But right now, go ahead. I see that the poll is up. So go ahead and rate your own stress on a scale from 1 being very low to 10 super high, not at a level that you want to be carrying. And that'll probably be up for another 30 seconds or so. So thank you for participating in that. And then we will take you through a practice to help. So Alyssa, oh, okay, looks like poll is, oh my goodness. So the highest number is 7. actually not the highest number, but the majority. So it looks like we're sitting between a 7 and a 6, and we do have someone up at the level 10, actually 8% of participants, 8% at 8, 33% at 7, 25% at 6, and then it falls off from 5 to 4. So thank you, Alyssa, for that poll. So let's all take a deep breath. Go ahead and take a deep breath. And I'd like to introduce you to a mindfulness practice called soft belly breathing. And if you're looking for resources on to help yourself and to help those that you serve, you probably want to pick up a copy of this book called The Transformation: Discovering Wholeness and Healing After Trauma by James S. Gordon, MD. And Dr. Gordon travels around the world and works with people who have experienced trauma. He goes to sites where earthquakes, fires, and floods have decimated environments and populations. And he brings this healing practice with him to help people who've experienced trauma. And we are all in the midst of a collective trauma right now. So go ahead, take a deep breath. The practice of soft belly breathing is very simple, but something that will immediately start to calm the nervous system. And what it consists of is breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, and doing this in a very intentional way, and being somewhere, if you can, where you can have a moment to yourself. Even though if you don't have a moment to yourself, you can use this practice standing in line at the supermarket, sitting in the midst of traffic, anywhere where you just have a moment where you can pay attention to yourself. So let's go ahead and take a few of these breaths together. So first, just feel your feet on the ground. Notice how you're sitting. Notice the support that you have of the chair beneath you. And go ahead and take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Inhale in through your nose and out through your mouth. And go ahead and just continue to do that in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Go ahead and do that 5 times at your own pace. Okay, go ahead and take another breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I want to read what Dr. Gordon has to say. Soft belly will help free your mind from painful, repetitive thoughts and memories and relieve preoccupation with what's happened to you or how bad or how hopeless a situation may seem. And it's great for also helping you sleep, getting you back to sleep if you've woken up in the middle of the night, or as something to even do first thing in the morning. So that's the soft belly practice. Really simple, but really effective. Okay, thank you for practicing that with me. I'm going to go ahead now and hand you over to Kelly.
Thank you so much, Dana. I really love that soft belly breathing, and I forget about it. So I love that we offer a different mindfulness practice each time that we offer the self-care in stressful times, because it just is another way to remind ourselves that we have tools and we can settle ourselves. I was thinking about this topic of creating stability, and I was thinking really about creating stability in a storm. And there's a John Kabat-Zinn quote that's been so helpful to me in my life. And it's that we can't stop the waves, but we can learn how to surf. And the first time I heard that, I thought, okay, it's inspiring me to let go of this idea that somehow I can control things in order to manage uncertainty of transitions. And instead, what his wisdom really empowers me to do is to develop new strategies, to stay grounded and stable as the waves of change continue to flow, right? And so to move with it, but to have this stableness within me. So we're looking at navigating transitions this month. And for me, really being intentional about how I navigate things is so important, because oftentimes we can feel very off balance during transitions, almost like the ground is unsteady under our feet. And it can be hard to find our footing when things are changing so often as they are right now, and the uncertainty as we're yet to reach a new normal, right? We have kids returning to school, but maybe in different ways. You know, we have so many different transitions of loss and disappointment. There's just so much going on that what I found is oftentimes it can trigger our stress response. And in that, we can get really stuck in our amygdala, right? In that fight flight part, that part of our brain that's really looking for danger. We can get stuck there. And for some of us, we can feel a deep sense of anxiety or panic or overwhelm in that. So what I love is that when we engage in a self-nurturing practice, when we're in a stressful time, we can transform that sense of hopelessness or helplessness and fear that we sometimes feel when we're in an experience that feels traumatic. We can transform that. And what I love about my mindfulness practice is it gives me a way of kind of plugging in every day and doing that. And so that's very helpful. But I've also found that having having practices that I can use when my anxiety really goes up and is more acute than just, you know, an ongoing sense of uncertainty. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today, is some of those. And I want to just invite you to walk through them with me as I offer them to you. Certainly, we just did soft belly breathing, and that's one that you can incorporate in lots of different times in your day if you start to feel that you're really feeling unsettled. But one really important thing is to have some way of grounding yourself. And I'm going to offer you this one. Have a grounding technique. And this is one that you can do standing, or you could do sitting. And I like to have options with that, because you never know when you're going to have, you know, a feeling of anxiety or panic come over you, and you want to have tools, right? So whether you're working with somebody, whether you're in a meeting, whether you're transitioning back to caring for your family, wherever that is, that you've got a tool. So imagine either that you're standing, if you can, or if you're sitting, just really sit tall and feel your feet firmly planted on the ground. And in doing this, feel a sense of connection to the earth. Feel the stability of the ground. If you're sitting in a chair, feel the stability of the chair underneath you, that sense of support. If you're standing, feel a sense of support under your feet from the earth below you. Connect to your body, have a sense that you are here and present, and then breathe in deeply. And as you breathe out, allow your shoulders to relax. Feel a sense of solidness in your body, a sense of being grounded in this moment. If you have to take another breath to really allow yourself to relax into it, feel free to do that. And for any of you that practice yoga, you know, you can imagine that you are in mountain position and that you're solid as a mountain. and really have that sense for yourself that in any moment when things feel unsettled, you can come back to this sense that you are grounded in this moment. So that's my first practice. And I think it's a good one to use in an ongoing way. We can teach our clients this. We can teach our children this, right? That they have tools to just ground, settle their nervous system, and come back and be present. Another way we know that has a very positive impact on calming our nervous system is to focus our attention on something. That's why mindfulness, paying attention on purpose, ends up being such a wonderful way to calm ourselves. But there's other ways to focus our attention as well. Since the brain can only focus on one thing at a time, if we give it something empowering to focus on, we can shift out of all that what if thinking, all that anxious thinking, as Dana said, like the thoughts just, reoccurring in a way that leads us into more anxiety. So this is a strategy I got from Dr. King Smith, and it's called Countdown 5. So I'm going to invite you to join me in this. All right, we're going to start with, what are 5 things that you can see? You need to look around and just notice and name for yourself, what are 5 things that you see around you right now? I see, for me, a surfboard. I see a picture. I see a tree with a bird outside. I see a fan keeping me cool. The next thing to do is at 4, is notice what are 4 things you can hear in your environment right now. I am very grateful that you cannot hear the saw, the power saw that is outside my window right now, while some people are doing some work on some trees around. I can hear that. I can hear the soft muffle of my fan. I can hear a bird outside. And I can hear my own voice. Okay, ready? Here's the third thing. The third thing is 3 things that you can touch. Now we know that tactile can bring us really present in the moment. So it may be if you're at a computer, you can feel the smoothness of the computer. If you're wearing a shirt, you can go over the texture of your shirt and feel that. Perhaps you're sitting at a desk and you can feel that. Or if you're drinking tea or something, you can pick up and feel the texture of a mug. So our touch is a really powerful way to settle our nervous system and be present in the moment. So that was the third thing. I hope you came up with 3 things. The second thing is, the second countdown to number 2 is notice what you can smell. Notice 2 smells around you. I often have essential oils around me. And I might, if I'm feeling anxious, use some lavender. And so that's a really, distinct smell. But you could smell anything. You could smell your fabric, softener or something or your detergent in your clothes. You might smell a hair product that you use, or a lotion or anything like that. But again, our olfactory, our sense of smell, can be very powerful and bring us back into the present moment. So you can use that. And then when you get to the countdown, so you've done 5, 4, 3, 2. When you get to 1, breathe in deeply. Now I invite you to check in and see, did focusing your attention in that way help settle you some? Help settle your nervous system? That's a really good tool to be able to maybe have written down for yourself. Sometimes when we're anxious, it's difficult to know what would be good to do. So any of these tools that resonate with you and are helpful, write them down. Oftentimes you could have a sticky note in your desk. You could have something on your computer. I love having cards around me that just say breathe. Because when I take a deep intentional breath in, I have more access then to other choices that are empowering. So I invite you to write any of those down if you found that to be helpful. Now, the last practice that I have for you really has been a lifeboat for me. In lots of times of challenge and transitions and other things, I have used gratitude as a way of grounding me in the present moment. And what I love about that is feeling grateful. It literally changes our brain chemistry, and it expands our view from what isn't going well to what is, or what is possible. To me, it like opens up another window when I'm getting stuck in any kind of anxious thoughts or feeling overwhelmed, etc. It just shifts my focus in a really powerful way. It's almost like when you're sitting and working maybe on the computer or something, and you would pause for a moment and look out the window, and your perspective totally changes. That's the power of gratitude. Now, there's lots of ways to practice gratitude, but this is one of the things that I like to do is have a couple of questions, kind of prompts for myself that either I might journal or I might just answer again to shift my thinking away from the anxiety and the running thoughts through my head into something that feels more empowering and more positive. So these are a couple of questions that I have that you could write down. The first one is, I am grateful for this person. So you kind of ask yourself, I'm grateful for this person, and then you identify who that person is. I would say, for me right now, I'm so grateful for my husband who has been very supportive to me. You could be grateful for anyone in your life, but really identifying a person and generating those feelings of gratitude for them can really help settle us and ground us. The next thing is, with all of this transition and all of these changes happening, be able to answer this question. I am grateful for what I'm learning in this experience. Gives you an opportunity to recognize what you're learning. Instead of feeling stuck in it, to see what you're learning and to be grateful for it. So think about that. What are you grateful for learning right now about this experience? The next one, in some ways, might be a little bit connected, and it is, I am grateful for this unexpected blessing. That might really cause you to have to stretch outside your perspective if you're feeling really frustrated or anxious and upset in a situation to find what could be the unexpected blessing. I know we did an episode right toward the beginning of our self-care and stressful times about unexpected blessings, but it's a way of using gratitude to shift our thinking around things, to find something that maybe we wouldn't have had an opportunity for if we weren't going through this major challenge in this time. So for you, what's been an unexpected blessing that you're grateful for? And the final one that I feel is such an important part of how we build our self-value and worth, the way that we build resilience, is to identify what we're grateful for about ourselves. And when I do that, I just naturally want to place my hand on my heart and breathe in and say, I am grateful for myself, and then identify something. So I invite you to do that. Now, I know that there is incredible wisdom in this webinar, right? With all of you here. I consider all of us in this webinar. And so I would be so grateful if you have a grounding practice a technique to help you create stability in your life when you're feeling anxious, would you share it right now in the chat? Because I want to have an opportunity to share more with our community, because I know that you are doing things in an ongoing way. And for those of you that are working with clients, I know you're teaching your clients, because I hear from people that their counselor taught them this or their case manager taught them this. These are wonderful strategies to do together, you know? So when you teach someone something, you get to do it too. I love that we have mindfulness practices in every single group that we run, whether it's our Leap to Confidence classes, our empowerment circles, anywhere, we always start with some sort of meditation or grounding. And it's good for all of us to become present, calm our nervous systems. So if anybody would like to share any tool that you have, we would love to share them forth. And if there aren't any that anybody wants to share at this point, then email us and let us know, because we know how incredibly important having more and more tools are. So there were a few that were just shared that I want to share. Guided meditations with a meditation app. And I love, there's many that you can have on your smartphone. But I really like Insight Timer with the free meditations. That's excellent. One person shared, I love this, stop and actually smell a rose. Yes, that's wonderful. Anything that we can bring our full attention to can really help calm us. Another person shared that they set an alarm on their phone to go off 3 times a day, and it's labeled pause. And when that comes up, she takes 3 deep breaths. That's a wonderful way of having ongoing practice in your day. Someone else shared that they're grateful for the meditative tools that we've taught. Another person shared that they spend some time in the garden. And not just working in the garden, but enjoying, observing, having that sense of refreshment. So I'm really grateful for all of those wonderful practices that you shared. Thank you so much for just continuing to show up here with us and to use these practices. We're all better off when more and more of us are grounded and present and can come from that place with love and compassion in the world. So thank you so much for being here. And I'm gonna hand things off to Dana now.
Thank you, Kelly. Those were wonderful. The grounding practices, the gratitude practices, and it reminds me how, you know, our minds can really only hold one thought at a time. And so if we consciously shift what we're thinking about and become conscious of what we're thinking about, it makes all the difference, absolutely all the difference. So those were really wonderful techniques. And thank you to everybody who's participating for the grounding techniques that you shared. What I'd like to go ahead and do now is I'd like to check in with you. And I would like to ask you again to please rate the level of stress or anxiety that you are feeling right now. And Alyssa will go ahead and put up the poll. And I want to see if anything has changed in the 25 minutes that we've been together. It's been really powerful and really wonderful to know that in a short period of time, we can settle. We can calm down, we can take a breath, we can shift our focus to gratitude, and it can make such a tremendous difference. And it really doesn't take very much in order to do that. So thank you for rating yourself on the poll. And while we're collecting your responses, I'm going to go ahead and share with you, give you a little preview of the additional topics that we're going to be focusing on in the month of September. So the theme, as you heard, is navigating transitions. Next week, we're going to look at dealing with loss and disappointment. The following week, we're going to look at reimagining routines and how we can create routines that really support us. The following week, we're going to look at creating new beginnings. And for the last episode of the month, we're going to invite some of our Leap to Success graduates to share how they've been navigating transitions and the tools that they're using. So I'm really excited to have them on and share that with you. And now let's take a look at the results of the poll. Wow, we came down to 50% of you are now rating yourself at a 3, 25% at 4, and only 8% at 5 and 6, and 8% at a 2. So we went down from about a 7 collectively to a 3. So I'm really glad to see that. So by investing in yourself, by giving yourself this break in the middle of your day, you've been able to reduce your stress. So I'm glad, and I feel less stressed too. So that's wonderful. I want to thank Kelly for that. So I'm excited about what we're going to share together over the next few weeks. And I'd like to close with this quote from Jada DeWalt. "The calm within the storm is where peace lives and breathes. It's not within perfect circumstances or a charmed life. It's not conditional. Peace is a sacred space within. It is the temple of our internal landscape. We are free to visit it whenever we seek sanctuary. Underneath the chaos of everyday living, peace is patiently awaiting our discovery. Go within." So with those words, be well, my friends, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.